Hey guys, this is Game Crazy 1994 here with a comparison video of the Nintendo 3DS versus the iPod Touch 4th generation. Of course, there's still a big controversy between which is the true gaming handheld. The Nintendo 3DS. It's quite sad that there has to be these comparison videos all over the place just to prove which one is better for gaming. But this is the main point. I'm not here to get anyone mad. I'm here just to state the facts. I'm here just to explain what's true about both consoles. I shouldn't even call this a console. This is just a device. Okay. I kinda don't want to do this, and yet I kinda have to, because, well, yeah, I kind of been thinking about it, and my friend is being obsessed with his iPod Touch, that, well, I wanted to do a comparison video now. So thanks to my friend, I've been wanting to do this now. Now, the games is obviously the controversy here. Nintendo has obviously been the gaming handheld since the 90s with the original Game Boy. The big white Game Boy. Then came out with the Game Boy Color, the Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Advance SP, the original Nintendo DS, now known as the DS Fat, DS Lite, DSi, DSi XL, and now the Nintendo 3DS. With Apple, they entered this as just a music player, nothing else. It was just a place where you can have all your music in at once. With the first iPod Touch, second iPod Touch, it just made things faster. The third generation iPod Touch then started having apps where you can start doing, well, a lot. Fourth generation, they decided to add 2 cameras because they were going to do it with the third generation but couldn't, just because of some software issues, hardware issues, or whatever, maybe both. Then with this generation, they're really pushing games. Third generation, they kind of were, but now they're really pushing it, saying this is the way to play games. There's one problem. Nintendo has been dominating the video game handheld consoles since the beginning. And of course Sony has had their attempts with the PlayStation Portable, or PSP, done with like 5,000 other versions of the PSP. Then they had the PSP Go, which has stopped selling because it sucked so bad. I mean, it's just a bad idea of... It was just a bad idea of everything digital. I'm pretty sure Sony's not going to do anything wrong with their PlayStation Vita. No, there's nothing wrong. Absolutely nothing. It's going to be perfect. But I'm not here to bash about the Vita. We're obviously doing I'm obviously doing a comparison video between the 3DS and the iPod Touch, 4th generation. So let's actually get started, because I've been rambling for 4.5 minutes now. Yes, I did have to explain the history, just because. Now, as for for digital downloads, Nintendo has been getting a lot better. So let's get on the eShop on the 3DS right now, so I can show you the interface on that. And I'm going to load the App Store on the iPod Touch. And I'm just going to go on the Featured tab here. Obviously, this is Nintendo's third attempt of having an online store, and by far, this is the best one. This is their best download store since the Wii and the DSi and DSi XL. DSi's online store, which is the DSi shop, it was really slow. Really slow. Whoever's had a DSi, or whoever's had a DSi or DSi XL, or have them, you know what I'm talking about. Super slow compared to the 3DS. And now with the App Store, this is still, for the iPod Touch, the App Store has still been the same since when it began, third generation of iPod Touch. Before it was just apps. Now there's just apps where you can do a lot of things that you would never think you would find. Of course, there's like, who knows how many there are, how many apps. There's like, who knows, I'm gonna say trillions because there's so many of them, it's ridiculous. Most of them don't even get used because they just sit there. Anyway, what gives the App Store the edge is because of the prices. It can be free, 99 cents, $1.99, $2.99, $3.99, $4.99, and all the way to $9.99. And of course, it's got music, and depending on what album or whatever, for some reason, not all songs are 99 cents. They can be $1.99 or even $2.99. TV shows, well, of course, the music, TVs, and movies can all be downloaded from the iTunes Store, which I'm pretty sure it's not called iTunes Store. That's just when I'm saying it for now. Just iTunes. Movies, depending, like standard definition, can be $10, $9.99, and for HD movies, which is about twice as much as memory, or even more than that, can be like $15 to $20. Of course, that's about the average price for like a DVD or even a Blu-ray, but of course Blu-ray is still fairly expensive. And with the prices for the Nintendo eShop, of course it just depends on what the content is. It can be from $1.99 all the way to anything highest price is $11.99, and that's only one title. And of course, that's the best DSiWare title available, which is Shantae's Revenge. And of course, there are free things on the eShop, but they're generally not around. They're generally not around often, so whenever they're free, just get them. And there's also even demos now, finally, for the Nintendo 3DS. And right now, there's only two. There's 2 game demos for Mario and Sonic at the London 2012 Olympic Games, which the demo sucks. Most of the time, you can't really tell how to do the game. And then there's Resident Evil Revelations, which is an awesome game. The demo is really good. It looks really good. But I kind of wish that there was a demo released this week. And of course, because the difference between the Nintendo eShop and the App Store and iTunes is that the eShop obviously doesn't have like 50 quadrillion apps like it does on the iPod Touch, and you know it to be true. You don't need to try to cover yourself. It's very true. But the the eShop does have its own share of apps, although they don't call it apps because of, well, yeah. Well, I guess they do. I guess I kind of lied. Applications. But they're just like simple stuff like SwapNote, which is the 3DS's messaging system. And of course, people whine and they want better. You gotta remember, this is Nintendo, not Microsoft or Sony, or unfortunately, and also in this case, Apple. There's Nintendo Video, where you can watch 3D video, Netflix, Pokédex 3D. That's a game. That's just a calendar, an alarm clock, which 3DS doesn't have built in, calculator, notebooks, another calculator for Mario, DSi metronome, just kind of basic stuff like that. But of course, with the iPod Touch, it even gets more basic than that. Of course, there's just too much to explain for the iPod Touch because there's too much. A lot of it's not even used. And of course, with the eShop, it's not even a trillionth close to being anywhere near how many games are on the eShop compared to the App Store. But of course, Apple was really the first one to do this for handhelds or device. And of course, how about we get to an actual game for both consoles? Device. So let's get to a controversially big game on the iPod Touch, which apparently now is, actually I need to check what's at the top right now. Top 25. Let's do free. I'm gonna ski on Neon, but whatever. Let's just do Temple Run, just because Temple Run is, and I really don't know how it's an addicting game. But all you do is run from monkeys and go left and right by tilting the screen, jumping, ducking, and all of that. This is fun. This is so fun, guys. If I keep playing, my thumb's gonna hurt. I mean, it's a good game, but geez, I don't know how it, I really don't know how that gets. I really don't know how it's the most popular game right now. I mean, that's literally all the gameplay. And that's it. I'll do it a couple more times. But of course, you gotta, I started on the original Game Boy when I was growing up, and obviously not the iPod because it didn't exist then. Let's keep going until I die, which should be soon. Don't forget the duck. Problem. I don't play this game because, well, I don't see what's so addicting. Because I only see this game as a quick waste of time. And of course, if you play Temple Run like crazy, well, I'm just stating the truth because it's not a real game compared to this game right here. Mario Kart 7 is a real game, guys. Hey, Temple Run may be free, but obviously there's not enough in depth to keep you going. I'll just do one race. Of course, so far this is my longest video on YouTube. This is the bottom line. Of course, if you'd like real games, go with the Nintendo 3DS for your games. But of course, if you like to watch movies and you like to listen to music, go with the iPod Touch. It is quite obvious that you go with your music on your iPod. Of course, the 3DS and the iPod Touch are doing both of more, but the 3DS is a true handheld gaming console. Sure, it has all these other things, but that's beside the point. The 3DS is a real gaming console. And for the iPod Touch, well, its main feature is still listening to music. It's still to watch movies and TV shows. And also have other apps as well. But of course, Apple thinks that people are can get the iPod Touch just for games, and it's super cheap games. But us gamers are not stupid. We know a real game when we see it. And obviously, Mario Kart 7 is a real game. And Temple Run, or Angry Birds, or Cut the Rope are good games, but they are not a real game. They're just there to waste time, and you know it. You do know that. You just really do. There's no denying it. And remember, I was stating facts, and right now I just said my personal side of it. But I've been growing up with Nintendo handhelds for as long as maybe like even 4 years old. I'm 18 right now. So I've been playing Nintendo games for 14 years. In this case, I've been doing this most of my life. And this, well, I just got my iPod for my birthday just this past month, and well, I've only gotten games on here so I can waste time. Because I don't always have my 3DS on me, and there are times when I don't always have my iPod on me either. They're both good, they're both different, and no matter what anyone says, the 3DS is a true gaming console, and the iPod Touch is a true music player. Nothing else. Nintendo is just not going to magically shift into like becoming the next iPod. And Apple is not going to magically become the next king of handheld gaming. And of course, Apple has to keep saying the iPod Touch games have been more popular than any handheld games that have been coming out before. Such a lie, Apple. Such a lie. You deceive so many people when you know that Nintendo is obviously still dominating handheld video gaming. It's just too obvious. I'm sorry. Gaming console, music player, gaming console, music player, gaming console, music player. Those are the main features for each one, not both. This is why Nintendo and Apple are different from each other. Apple is known about innovating and bringing it to the now. Nintendo, they're about innovating as well, but they're for games. For Apple, they're just known about how to make things smaller and faster. Nintendo, they know what true quality is, because they've been in it a lot longer than Apple has. At least for handhelds. Well, this is Game Crazy 1994 telling you to comment and tell me your personal opinion about this whole thing. Do you believe that the Nintendo 3DS should stay the dominant gaming? No, actually, let me just rephrase it, so I completely screwed it up. Which do you think is the true gaming handheld? The Nintendo 3DS, or just anything Nintendo? Or the iPod Touch, or anything that's from Apple? Which is the true gaming handheld? And that's the point I wanted to prove to you guys in this video. And yes, it took me just about 24 minutes to explain to you, because it's the truth. It needs to be this long in order to prove it to everyone that these two are different. They're not the same. So let me know which you think is the real gaming console here. This is Game Crazy 1994 telling you to subscribe, comment, rate, and favorite, and also show this to your friends if someone plays like a DS, PSP, or who's gaming and who's obsessed with playing games on their iPod or iPhone or whatever. Please show them this video, because it's the truth. 3DS, a gaming console. iPod Touch, a music player. I'll see you guys next time.